Well, Andrew, welcome to the program. And this ute tax, the increases, it's pretty alarming. Another kick for farmers, effectively.
The challenge for us in the farming sector is, what are the alternatives? There aren't that many electric alternatives. The scheme is supposedly about incentivizing change. You've actually got to have something to change to. So for the farming community, it's just a flat, it's a straight out tax. There is nothing we can change to. Certainly, if all you're doing is dropping the kids off at school in Remuera, then there are some options for you to change away from a ute. But for someone that needs to chuck a load of posts on the back and whatever else, kind of stuck with utes.
But you do get the GST off for ute, presumably for farm work. Is that correct?
Yep. So if you're buying it for business expense, like everything else, you do get to claim the GST off it. Yeah.
Has anybody, to your knowledge, got one of these EV utes, and are they up to the job, I guess?
Uncertain as to whether too many of them are made their way into the country. I imagine there's possibly a couple of sort of prototypes out there or early model releases. I guess just my sort of experience with some electric stuff has been, the concept was great, but the challenge was it didn't really hold up to the mud, the dirt, the water. Seemed to affect batteries and those components more than they did a diesel engine. So I think there's a little bit of more development work really required before I think they're really ready for farm use.
Yeah, well, with only one model on the market, it's pretty limited, isn't it? You've got no choice, effectively. You either try it out or you don't. What should the money be going to? I mean, you talk about the government should be concentrating on rural roads.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're often in a bit of a state all around the country. I know there's depends on where you live, but I understand up in Taranaki there was a horrendous stretch of roading up there that was taking out car tyres on a regular basis. But I mean, it just seems like we're spending very little on the roads, and it's all going on other things, and it's certainly hampering businesses or farms' ability to do business and other small businesses in rural New Zealand.
Now, the other concern, of course, which it's all gone very quiet with He Waka Eke Noa, hasn't it? Are you concerned about what's going on there and what is going on there?
Been fairly well quiet for the entire year. Obviously, the government's had, the sector sort of completed its job in May last year in terms of here is a proposal. And since then, the government came back out with something in October, which everyone was pretty aghast at, and they went back to the drawing board and came back with some changes that for other parties, they were happy with those. That was prior to the new year. But this year we've heard absolutely very little at all. And so all we know is that there's lots of debates happening at a cabinet level, that they're struggling to, across cabinet portfolios, arrive at what the solution is. And so I guess we just wait. I've heard stories from it's going to be a fertilizer tax to there's actually not going to be a price at all. We're just going to be required to record our emissions and invest in research and development. So it's hard to know what is actually going to happen, and I guess we'll just wait and see what comes out of government. But I guess the key thing is the fact that the longer this goes on, the less time there is to implement anything. If we're looking and we're saying, if they're intending to have a farm level system 1st of January 2025, well, you kind of need a full season of that running before you even think about, putting a price on it, which we don't agree with. And so the time frames really are running out pretty quickly.
And the clock, speaking of the clock is running down on your tenure as the National President of Federated Farmers. How are you feeling with, a couple of months to go?
Oh, yeah, it's, I guess, some level of frustration as to what I didn't get done, some enjoyment of the things that have managed to achieve. There's been some good opportunities that have opened up to me for doing it. So, yeah, like all these things, you always sort of finish up and you go, "Oh, I wish I had done that," but geez, I enjoyed that. So, yeah, it's been a ride. I think is the best way you can describe it.
Gosh, it's been a ride, all right, when you think of the COVID and all the challenges that have come through in the last few years. So the future, I know you won't be able to tell me too much, but lots of rumours.
Yeah, there's a few going around. The only thing I know for certain is I've still got plenty of fencing to get done. 9 years of deferred maintenance on the farm, so that's about the only certainty I'll be doing, of what I'll be doing, unless, of course, some of those rumours come true, in which case I might need a fencing contractor.